And so, we had Joanne Johansen, the Connecticut Crusher, on Monday because, she's killing it, right? 13
Right,
closings
right,
in
right.
June. She's got 13
Four and a
lined up
half
for
million
July.
dollars. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
4 or 5 million bucks. And
yeah,
she's saying these are my best months outside of COVID. She doesn't count
right.
COVID. And I think she's right not to count that, right? Because that was make believe. And so, but in the real stuff, right? Best month she's ever had in her 30-year career, I believe is what
Wow,
she said. Wasn't that right?
wow.
She said 30 years
Yeah,
in the business.
it's
So
been a
she's in the
while.
business 30 years. But the thing that stood out to me
What is
about
that?
all the stuff was
What
she
is that?
said, I'm coachable.
Mm,
And here's the thing, man, it is so hard
yeah.
for experienced originators to be coached. It
What? Hey,
really is.
why do you think that is?
I think that when you've done it for so long and you've had success, right? Some level of success that you feel like you know it all,
Mm,
right? I know how to do this. I know. Like you could go up to an experienced originator who maybe isn't having their best months anymore, right? But who used to and say, "Hey, brother, you got to prospect 2 hours a day." Like, I know. You get that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and they're just not willing
Mm,
to be coached,
mm,
right? And I just think that for her to say that, I was like, man, that
yeah.
really is a secret right now to today's market and today's originator, right? Is man, oh man, if you can get coached and you can be willing to be coached
Mm,
and you can be willing to say, okay, maybe I don't know everything,
yeah.
right? Maybe I don't have all the answers. It's not just the market. Maybe it is me, right?
Mm, mm,
Maybe I do need to be coached. Maybe I should let down the barriers, the I know everything barriers, those walls. Maybe I should drop those things
mm,
and say, okay, man, help me,
yeah.
and be coached.
Mm.
I don't know. What do you think about that?
Man, I just think like when I hear that, I think it comes from a place of humility. The first thing I just thought about, Frank, was what would, and when I think, there's a couple of limiting beliefs. One of them is I think some people hear the word coached and they got a negative connotation to it. It's like I already feel like it's all gimmicky, it doesn't work. And so I think you got to get past the maybe some of the veterans have had this. It feels like a fly by night, and it's a this real quick thing that really never works. And what I think about it is this: I think number one, we got to get to a place in our business where we're just humbled enough to say, "Hey, maybe what I'm doing is not working."
Mm.
And, we've had some great success, and then it seems to have tapered off. And we tend to blame the market and rates went high. But what if we took just an honest assessment and said, well, maybe it's the activity I'm doing and or not doing. And the second thing is understanding that really all coaching is an accelerant.
Mm.
And you know what I love about what we do? Because you and I are both in new seasons. We're both starting over at some level. And you know what's been so refreshing? Steph asked me the other day, she said, why is this so easy for you? And I said, because I was like, well, that's kind of weird to say. Why is it so easy for you? You know what I really have had some time to think about, Frank?
Mm.
It's because you and I sitting in the seats we sit in, we know it
Mm.
works.
Yeah.
Like when you know something works and you see the results in Joanne, you see the results in literally, we could go down David Mendez, we could go to RK Glover. I mean, I could list literally hundreds of
I know.
people in the last, in the membership in our 8-week boot camp. And it's like when you know it works, then what else would I do?
Mm.
Like what else would be the play
Yeah.
or the plan? And I think part of it is when you're a veteran, it's linking arms. That's what I love about Joanne is that she was skeptical at first when she started coming to the Breakfast Club, and she's like, "Huh, Well, you know what she would say? It's a little refreshing because you guys are so positive. Most people are so negative.
Right.
Then the second thing is, well, man, I'm hearing all these success stories and I'm hearing these wins. It seems to be working. And then she becomes a member, and it's like, wow, it really does work when you focus on the right activity instead of busy work.
Right.
You know, if I got an opportunity to make 2 hours of outbound calls, how about we call the ones that actually have the business
Mm.
who together we can grow our businesses. And so I think that's part of it is you got to get to a place where you're humbled enough to say, what I'm doing is not working. Number two, I want to find a group that I relate to that has proven results. And then number three, just learn what are the things that are being done to actually get the results. And number, I guess, four would be just take some action. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, hey, how about if I do some of the activities that are producing those results, you know?
Yeah. I think what makes coaching, I like how you said it from our seats. We're blessed in the fact that we do
We see
get
what's
to be a
happening.
part
Yeah.
of Loan Officer Breakfast
Yeah.
Club Marketing Animals and just be connected to so many people and see the things happening. I think that, and you also mentioned that maybe a lot of originators might think coaching, oh God, not again, not that again.
Yeah.
What it's a
Yeah.
gimmicky
Yeah.
thing. And, some guy's going to tell me what to do, and that's the end of
They're
it.
going to tell me to get down and get push ups and beat
Yeah,
me over the head and
and
shame me to death. That's not
shame,
what
yeah.
coaching is.
And so I think the reason maybe I don't think I know the reason that there's those who apply themselves into the coaching, right? And of course, we're going to talk about marketing animals. We're going to talk about Breakfast Club. We're going to talk about Call Stars because that's where we are, right? I'm not saying it's the only coaching out there, right?
Right. Right.
But I'll tell you, I think why people are like you said, accelerating in our environment is
Mm-hmm.
because you can really immerse yourself into the community, right? So it's not just I have a 30-minute meeting 2 times a month with somebody who's going to lay out some things that I need to do, some tasks, right? And then we're going to regroup 2 weeks later and see how I did. That is a
Right.
form of coaching that might work for some. But with when you have an environment like we have with Breakfast Club, MMA, and Call Stars, right? Those three things all together, it's more than that. I'm immersing myself in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
hearing it every
Mm-hmm.
day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing others apply this and seeing their results. It's more than just here's the daily success plan, do it. Although that's part of it, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
certainly part of it.
Yeah.
It's no, it's that, but I'm immersing myself into a community, right? We're all like in it together, like Call Stars, man.
That's it.
It's such a powerful thing to say, hey, man, like this morning at Breakfast Club, Carl said, just give us 2 hours a day. If you could just
Right.
find a way to block out everything and just make those outbound calls for 2 hours a day,
Right.
everything is going to change. And to have that mechanism in place in the form of Call Stars, right? To where you can do that with a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of other people, right? I've been on Call
100%.
Stars and there's been 100 other people on there, and where you can do that together and
Right.
immerse yourself
Right.
into the community that revolves around this coaching program that only works all the time, right? That's where I think it can make a difference to someone. Hey there, if you're loving the tips so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and then click on the bell as well so you never miss out on more cool free tips coming your way. And also, would love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think or what you want to see next. I think they have to be able to plug into, you know, here's the other thing I'll say this and I'll let you chime in, but plug into a community that has very, very deep roots.
Mm.
And what I mean by very, very deep roots is, this isn't a community where it's just like, here's an idea,
Right.
try this
Right.
idea,
Right.
try
Right.
that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Although we do that to a certain extent, no, we go, here's a plan, and it's
Mm-hmm.
very deeply rooted in
Mm-hmm.
history, right? And legacy and success. It's a very deeply rooted thing, right? And in this, environment, not only is it deeply rooted in experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And legacy, Steve, but it's also it's just more than that. everything is covered in this program. Like we can go from the perfect day to here's the activities you do to,
Right.
hey, here's how you handle your finances, right?
Right.
What are you
Right.
doing with your money? Like every little detail
Yeah.
of having a wonderful career, a wonderful business, right? An amazing life, as a mortgage originator is there. It's all there. It's not just here's an idea, here's an
Right.
idea,
Right.
here's an idea,
Yeah.
which is the here's an idea method is go chase this now, go chase that now, go chase that now, go chase that now, and see if you get something, right? It's not like that. It's just not like that, right?
Right.
Nothing wrong with coming up with ideas and seeing if they work. I do it all the time, right? But the coaching program is deeply rooted in experience, right? In legacy, and covers every aspect
Yeah.
of what you need. Every single, there's no stone left unturned in this
Mm.
coaching program. And the community is so rich that, like, I don't know. When I heard Joanne say that, that's what came out. Like, it's like, I'm willing to be coached, right?
That's
I was
huge, man.
willing, like you said, to be humbled, to enter into something and say, okay, let me do this.
Yeah, and
You know?
hey, Frank, there's 5 levels. So remember this in coaching. You're in everybody who's listening today, you're at one of these 5 levels. You're either surviving, which is 0 to 4 closings a month. You get 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, there's a 0. You are literally completely reactive and inconsistent.
Mm,
Or you're at stage 2, which is I'm beginning to stabilize. That's where you're closing 4 to 8 transactions a month. You're beginning to build a process to prospecting and realize it's not just random, but you got theme days, you got time blocking, you get a little bit of help getting out of the busy work. And stage number 3 is 8 to 18 loans a month. And that's where you're starting to build some structure. Hey, I got a front end pre approval specialist. I got a back end processor. I got someone who's maybe helping me make outbound calls. And what's happening is now I got a process for daily tasks and my business is starting to run without me being in the middle of it. The fourth one is scale. And man, that's where you're closing 18 plus loans a month and your team is doing the right activity. It still gets done without you being in the middle of it. And where I really love is legacy, and that's where it just runs without you.
mm,
You got a significant business, you're able to have freedom, time off, and it is a machine that runs. And everybody listening today, you're one in 5 areas. And even whenever you were telling me back that we got to be humble. I and I 100% agree. But you know what I think you got to do too, Frank? You got to be a little humble and a little frustrated and pissed off enough to say,
mm,
I'm done.
yeah.
Like I'm done being stuck. I'm going to put my humble hat on and say, you know what? I'm not where I used to be or not where I want to be, but it's time to make a decision. Where a decision is this is the way it's going to happen. And from here on out, you know what? I am going to have my best months. That's what Joanne did. That's what I loved is that she just made a decision. You know what? My best days aren't behind me. They're ahead of me. I'm going to link arms with people that are moving in a direction where I feel like I belong and in a community. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the work and I'm going to get the results because when she started, she was in that survival stabilize and now
Right.
she's in structure and scale.
Mm,
And there's 5 levels of leadership as you're building a significant business. And that's part of what I love about coaching is it's not guesswork. You're in one of the 5 and each level has an obstacle, and we already know how to remove that obstacle to help you
mm,
get there faster. So,
mm.
hey, where would they go if they wanted to know more about coaching or the boot camp or anything like
Well,
that?
I would say go to Freedom Call. I mean, I would
Okay.
say go
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So what is that link
Oh,
exactly? Freedom
freedomplanningcall.com.
Planning Call, right? Freedom
Yeah.
Planning Call. That would be the best place to go.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Go to freedomplanningcall.com and listen, we'll help you with it. We'll
Right.
well, it's called the MMA growth map. The team will identify where you're at on it. And here's what's really cool too, Frank. For everybody who's listening today, we'll actually give you the warm list activator to identify the top 500 people in and around your sphere of influence that can actively refer you. Now, we'll give that to you, as well as a fast action 90-day plan. And we'll help you, whether the boot camp is a good fit or whether the monthly membership's a good fit, whether Leadership Academy is a good fit,
Mm,
Freedom Club. Our goal is we just want to link arms with you. We'd
yeah.
love to help you get unstuck. and to take massive action. Clarity doesn't come in preparation, it comes in taking action. And so go to freedomplanningcall.com.
Love
We'd
it.
love to help you. What a great topic, man. Just about coaching's changed my life. Frank,
It's
true
changed
story.
mine.
Hey, listen, it took me
Yeah.
18 years to break $100 million.
Mm.
It I'll never forget. I got in '02. I got into coaching in 2011, and it wasn't until 2000, what was it, 21, I finally hit 100 million in personal production. And guess what, Frank?
Mm.
Linking arms with our community, it took 2.5 years to do it again.
Wow.
I started over from zero after that, and then it only took 2.5 years.
Mm.
And what was amazing is this: the first time was just through grit and hard work and
Yeah.
push. The
Mm.
second time, it was linking arms with guys like you and Carl and
Yeah.
recognizing, wow, we can do this thing faster and there's a real
Mm.
process.
Yeah.
And so what it does is it just takes years and years and years and compresses it down to months, and that's what coaching is, the right coaching.
There you
So
go. Yeah. Freedom planning
great
call.
topic, man.
Yeah, man. It is. It's a good
I love it.
topic, man. Yeah. Right on, brother. Well, let's get on out of here.
Freedomplanningcall.com. If you want help, go to freedomplanningcall.com. We'll help you. We'd love to do that. So
There you go. And if you just want to chat with me about anything, go to frankcall.com. Anything at all.
yeah,
You guys have a good one. All right. Hey, Steve, thanks so much, man. Appreciate you being
great
here.
conversation.
Appreciate the conversation. We'll get out of here. We'll catch you guys later here on the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast. See ya. Adios.
See ya.